Hi guys, in 2014 I found myself with severe heart failure in hospital and I was basically bedbound on hospital bed connected to all these wires, heart wires, and I couldn't walk for weeks, a number of weeks. I could not walk, and before I came in I couldn't walk across the room without stopping for breath. That's how bad I was. I was in a ward, a cardiac ward, with heart attack patients. They're having stents and they've had heart attacks, and they were laughing and joking. They're walking to the window, looking at the window every day and having a chat together. And there's me, the youngest guy in the room, and I just couldn't get off the bed. I couldn't go to the window. All the staff came round, giving me a lot of sympathy. There was a lot of pity, and the consultant came around every day with a negative vibe. And all I remember really him saying all the time, again and again and again, your heart is very weak. This heart is very weak. Like, not weak, very weak. I had a lot of time to reflect on my life at that point. There's three things that I realised about life myself, and it may help you too. And things you don't really think of when you're living life in a healthy way. Number one is your happy days. Your happy days are very important. Your healthy, happy days. You want to, if you can, wake up in a good mood and have a happy day. What I regretted was letting small things ruin my day, worry me or get me angry sometimes. It can be like an issue at work, an issue with a friend, and these events they just kind of spoil you. Somehow they spoil your day. They ruin that day. So that day is a day or two, or it could be a week. You kind of wound up. You can't say the happy days, can you? They're not happy days. You're not enjoyed those days. Our days are valuable, and you want to really make the most of your happy days. And what I realized is, don't let anybody take your happy day away. That's a very, when I think about it, it gets me very angry. If somebody tries to do something in a malicious way or something, and they tend to make your day, ruin your day, be very angry at them. Be very angry. It's up to you if you let them ruin your day, but you want to be, your days are very precious, and when you're sick in a hospital bed, and you don't want it to have days where you've got to appreciate your happy days. You want as many as you can. Life is, like I say, when you find yourself like that, life is so precious. Your days are so precious, and for someone, it's like someone taking a day of your life away, and that's what someone's doing to you. If they're taking a happy day away, they're taking a day of your life. You'll look back on and you'll just have regret. I guess this could apply to longer time frames as well. Some person could be just ruining your happiness in some way. And my message is fight against it. Do all you can to stop that person giving you unhappy days, unhappy weeks, unhappy years. And to look back at the days now, you're talking decades later, those days at work where you come home, your things bothering you, and it just makes you feel crappy for days on end. You've got something to worry about with somebody else at work. Those days, yes, I had plenty of those like anybody else. I look back at them now and think, I can't remember even what I was worked up about, what I was worrying about. I can't remember. That is the case in point. When you look back and you think, why was I letting that bother me so much? And end of the day, the result was it took a happy day away from you. So you just got to be in the moment and realize, in the future, I won't even remember how I'm feeling. What I'm going through now, what I'm feeling. I'll remember. You will sometimes, of course. You're going through some things, some really major things that you remember forever. But a lot of it just don't sweat the small stuff. and especially, don't let somebody as simple as, somebody can just call you a name. You're sensitive to a certain a name, a certain, a bit of bullying kind of thing. Or they can pick on you in a sensitive, something you're very sensitive about. And, don't let it bother you. It means nothing. Don't let it bother you, and don't let it get you angry. Because you'll look back and you want to remember it. And if you did remember it, you'll be thinking, what was that? Why did I let it bother me so much? Nobody is entitled to do that to your life. Nobody. Your days are very precious. You want to have as many happy days as possible. The second thing I realised, health is number one. Real life is number two. Problems. And you wouldn't think problems are a privilege. If you're worried about real life problems, then usually your health is all right. So this is a great position to be in. To have problems is a great position to be in, because I know from experience, when you have health problems, when other people have health problems, and they tell me it's all they worry about. It pales in significance real life problems when you have real health problems yourself. I don't know what it is, but I do know what it is. So I'm telling you now, real life problems they become almost nothing when you've got big health problems to worry about. They just almost don't matter. If you've got real life problems, try and appreciate them. They are a privilege, because the other option is, you can not have these problems. You can have health problems instead. I know which I'd rather have. I'd rather have real life problems rather than no real life problems and no health. Because if you've no health, you've no real life problems. If you know what I mean. When I mean no health, it's like not being here. If you're not here, you've no problems, right? So would you rather have real life problems, or would you rather not be here and have no problems? So that hits a nail on the head. Problems are a privilege. Another thing I realised as well, and this applies in my country, in the UK, to myself. It may not do in your country, say USA, for example. What I found is money and material assets I had, money in the bank, the things I owned, material things I owned, or you could own. You can own a nice car, a nice house. We put so much pride into building our money up, saving our money. Put so much pride into it. Our material things, things we own, we put so much into them in our life. And what I found, I was on the hospital bed, and I couldn't see how I could get out of there and live a life again. Basically, the situation I was in, and I don't want to say my deathbed, but I tell you now, it felt like it, because I needed a miracle to get out of that situation. I needed a miracle. The money I had in the bank and the things I owned, it just didn't matter anymore. It did not matter. The only thing that mattered at that point was my health. No one talked about money in the bank. No one talked about possessions, things like that. And it just doesn't cross your mind. You don't care about it. You don't care about that stuff when you're fighting a battle to, live again. What that made us realize is, not to put so much value into things you own, material things. They don't mean as much as you think. Like, especially when you're in hospital bed. Like, for example, one good example, you own a nice house, you own a nice car, you have all this money in the bank. But when you're in hospital very sick, what use is the house to you? What use is the car to you? What use is the money in the bank? Unless you need it to pay financial costs, and fair enough. But what use is it for you when you're in hospital, you're very, very sick? It can't help you. It cannot help you. Having a nice house in that situation cannot help you. So I'm saying, I don't put as much value into owning things these days. You can end up owning a lot of different things. I could end up owning a house, owning all material things, and I can be attached to all them. But again, it doesn't mean as much as I think. It doesn't mean much. It doesn't mean much at all. That's why these days I'm more happy to go minimal. I like to go minimal, less material things. You probably heard the saying, material things don't make you happy. And yeah, they give you a quick dopamine hit. But after that, they can't help you really. They give you bragging rights, they give you status. When you're well enough, they give you status, bragging rights. But when you're really sick, people don't normally care about that stuff. It becomes insignificant. So the value you put on owning things, maybe do that a bit less. That's what I am. But again, it's nice. It's nice to have the money there. You need the money there to, when you're well enough, you need the money there to, try and have a good life and feed yourself and, have your treats and things. And you need a place to live at the end of the day. And yeah, those are my 3 insights to, be in a hospital bed and be in a position of, I may not have, come back, got out of hospital, and very fortunately, I did go on a topic for a different story. How I got out of the situation is an absolute miracle. I still don't know. I mean, now we're 10 years later, and I'm still talking to you now, so I'm very blessed. Okay, thanks for watching, and I hope you found some value from this video, and take care. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.